Well, welcome back into the walled garden here at Blickling Hall in Norfolk, and what a fantastic display of bluebells, showing the range of colours you can get just from the natural seedling and crossing that you get here. Called bluebells for a good reason. What a lovely shade of blue that is in this summer sunlight, just picking up those colours, but occasionally throws off a white, as you see there, and then like we have back on the farm, an occasional pink just pops up. Subtlest of pinks in this case, just look at that. Can get them quite a bit more mauvey than that, and there's one just in the back there. Just a little bit more colour in, but the predominant colour here is the blue with an occasional white. But what a lovely show. And this border interests me. So we've got bluebells scattered all the way along, but this is the border that we videoed in full flower last year, and planted all along here is a spectacular collection of dahlias, and I fully expected them to have been lifted and stored in the greenhouses that they've got ample opportunity and access to at the end of this run, but they've all been left in the ground and just top dressed with a really good layer of well rotted horse manure or cow manure. It's difficult to tell which once it's well rotted like this. And they're starting to shoot. Look, there's the first signs of these buds coming from the crowns at this one. You can see these have survived really well and are now just starting into their growth. So a real good case here. I know they've got the shelter of the walls in this garden. This is an east facing border, so it won't take the worst of the winter weather or frosts, but just with a good mulch, then it's perfectly possible in the south of England to overwinter these in the ground without all the laborious lifting and storing and then replanting or bringing them back into early growth that has traditionally gone on with growing dahlias. It's really interesting to see. These pear trees on the back wall must be at least 100 years old, possibly older. Some of these in straight up cordons, 4 spikes thick, and just look how they've been pruned back over the years into this tight network of branches within a very confined area so that they can grow multiple varieties along this wall. There's probably a dozen surviving older trees which have been planted with other younger versions. There's a cherry which they've put in the middle there. I'm not quite sure why they've chosen a cherry on this back wall. Good a place as any to grow a fruiting cherry, but I would have thought they'd have replanted with further pears. A lovely planting along here. This must have been greenhouses at one stage. There are quite a series of historic drawings and paintings of this garden and how it's evolved over the years, but right along here you can see the render on the back wall that would have been an interior of a glass house at one stage, with doors going through to existing buildings which are still in situ, which are the old potting sheds or the boiler houses for the glass houses, where they would have had all the boilers and pipework to keep these frost free and in growth over the winter months. This fantastic run of coal frames at the base of this glass house with the hole behind really evoke what it must have been like here 100 years ago, with a full team of gardeners working in this walled garden to feed the big house and the estate. Now put over to a pleasure garden really, with no demands coming from the cook or the canteen. More a demonstration garden than a working garden, but it's fantastic to see these being restored and replanted and brought back to life. So many of them still remain as derelict grasslands with just the remnants of few fruit trees in the walls around them.